Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, as well as Joe Bear in the house. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. Wake up here, guys. Wake up. And shout out to Angela Howard, who she actually makes masks. She actually made this mask for Joe Boo because he's spreading the mojo and nothing else. And I'll put a link in the description so that way, if you're interested in getting any of those, that you can order some directly. She's actually a Washington football fan. I know it's hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe that there are people out there that are still fans of the Washington football team, but she's actually really, really good people, her and her husband. Um, Today, our Dallas Cowboys get back on the field after having a day off as they get ready for the blue and white scrimmage that's going to happen on Sunday. It should be online, and if it is, I'm going to find out what time it is. We'll probably do a live stream during it. What you end up getting, the blue and white scrimmage is really a glorified practice. Okay, they'll have the first team against the second, first team offense, first team defense, run a few plays and situations and stuff, and have a scrimmage and things. Try and do a full drive and stuff. It's not a full game, but hey. It's the closest thing we've had to a full game since the Super Bowl. So I'm all in for that. And we'll see if we can get maybe E2 Blue over in the house to join us as well and try out some of the new things that we're doing here at the Man Cave and things. So they're going to get back on the field and get back to practice and stuff. And as you think about this season, it's funny as I read some of the comments. Um, I was talking about the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff yesterday, that the different eyes and different experiences that people have when they come together, that you end up creating new ideas and new opportunities. And a lot of people were saying, oh, Mike McCarthy, man, his play calling had gotten stale, and in there he's a loser coach and all these coaches are losers and stuff. And it's like, well, you could look at Kansas City, Andy Reid. Andy Reid was a good coach. He'd gotten the uh, Eagles to a Super Bowl, but he'd gotten stale there. He got run out of town to Kansas City, and it took him some time, but eventually he ended up winning that first Super Bowl. It wasn't that Andy Reid forgot how to coach, that he didn't have good experiences, but it was a matter of getting a fresh start. And that's what you have with Mike McCarthy. And when you look at a guy like Mike Nolan, who, yeah, he didn't do great as a head coach for the 49ers, but you can look at his resume and look where he's worked with the Baltimore Ravens and Ray Lewis. You can look at how the defense turned around in New Orleans, and you see the play from the linebackers where he was the linebacker coach. I'll take that linebacking core that they have in New Orleans, the way they play like a bunch of crazed dogs, any day. And you can see the evolution and the changes that are being made with this defense. You don't know until we get in true game conditions. We're looking at practice, of course, but you can get a feel for guys that seem to be getting it versus guys whose eyes are bugged out and just completely lost. And you can see that the players are buying into the systems that they are establishing there. There's no guarantees in football. And in football, there's so many parameters on winning. It's crazy because it's not always the best team that ends up winning the Super Bowl. Sometimes it's the one that gets lucky because of some calls. Sometimes it's ones that are lucky because of health. But you must have a coaching staff that will put you in the best position to win. And I feel like we're heading in that direction. I really and truly like what we've done. And it almost makes you feel like, and I don't want to say that we're a team of destiny, because now too much, um, you're putting in too much. But it seems like there's so many things that have fallen the Dallas Cowboys' way and worked out better than you could have expected. Um, when you think about one, health, okay? Knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it. Losing Gerald McCoy was, you didn't want to do that. But you think about a guy like Amari Cooper, who was dealing with plantar fasciitis. You think about a D-Law who was dealing with the shoulder surgery. You think about a Tyrone Crawford who's now back, that on an injury front to go through training camp, which is compressed. Understand, this training camp is more important than anything else to get the guys on the field to work together. There were no OTAs. This is it, because when the season starts, you're not able to establish it. You're able to only put in the game plan for that week. There's just not the time to do that. So you have to do all of your learning right now. The Cowboys having that health. The next thing that's been crazy is when you think of a player of the capability of a CeeDee Lamb literally falling to the Dallas Cowboys' lap. Not only for the Cowboys to get him, to keep him from the Eagles. If CD is anywhere close to the hype that's being made, when you see him leaving out of the building, you see him with the toe tap in the end zone, you see his hands that are like a catcher's mitt. Can you imagine if the Eagles had that guy? Oh, that was one of those things that fell to us. And then to be able to turn around and you have an Aldon Smith, and there's no, we don't know for sure what's going to happen, but to see it, hear his attitude on the field, to hear how the team is coming together with him and becoming part of the team and the family, to see that he still has stuff in there. And again, we're talking about practice, not a game now, but we're talking about practice. But it seems like he is a bonus piece to be able to get an Everson Griffin for the cheap price that we got, a Dontari Poe. It's almost like all these things are happening and falling in place for the Dallas Cowboys. Almost too well. And you look at Dak Prescott, who is developing a repertoire, it seems like almost immediately, with CeeDee Lamb. Am I crazy? Does this seem like we're in an alternate universe, that things seem to be going right for the Dallas Cowboys going into the season? I hope that it is true. I hope what we see is, in fact, the way it's going to be. I'm excited. I can't wait for Sunday for the blue and white scrimmage. I can't wait for 2 weeks from tonight when Kansas City takes on the Texans. And in 17 days, 11 hours, 38 minutes, and 30 seconds, that we take on the Rams in an empty stadium. Can't wait. Now, the question will be, is there's still a lot of questions. With the latest shooting that's happened in Wisconsin, and you're seeing what the NBA is doing, where they're literally saying we need a change, and they're not going to play. They're not playing. LeBron James and the Lakers are trying to decide what their plan is, and we have Jerry Jones, who is trying to straddle the fence, where he wants the players, like they did a few years ago, to kneel before the national anthem and then toe the line for the national anthem. And I have no idea how this situation is going to work out. It may end up being that they can play because of coronavirus, but it may end up being that they don't because of social injustice. I try to keep politics out as much as possible. Understand, I try not to have hate in my heart, regardless of what happens. I mean, I don't like the Eagles. Okay, let me truth and advertising. Let's truth and advertising. But each of us should be free to believe what we want to believe, and I don't condemn people for their opinions. I may tell you you're stupid, when you say something stupid football-wise, but we should all be free to support what we want to support without persecution. That's what this country was built on. And we should all be free to try and live the American dream. I grew up was born in 1965. In 1965, we were knee-deep in the civil rights protests, the civil rights era. And in 1965, a black man couldn't marry a white woman, or a white man couldn't marry a black woman. Schools were still segregated. In fact, I was the first class to be integrated at my elementary school. And the things that I went through then, the fights I was in, the being called nigger on a daily basis, are things that I didn't think that my grown kids would still have to fear right now. I'm happy for you if you've never had the fear when a police car comes up behind you. I'm happy if you've never been pulled on the side of the road with 10 police cars, with police, their weapons, hands right on it, and you've done nothing and don't even know why you've been pulled over. I wouldn't want anybody to have those kinds of experiences. We all want the same thing. And right now, well, I got to get to my day job. I got a deck we got to build. We'll be out in the middle of no man's land, so we'll be out of touch for some hours. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys and all the support that we get here. And you guys are like my family. I'll see you soon.